I was already holding the pen when he said it. The room smelled like lemon polish and entitlement. He leaned back in my chair, and smiled like the house was already his. 200,000, he said. You're too old to enjoy it anyway. That's when something in me went quiet, not broken, focused. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I nodded, the way men do when they're done listening. The pen hovered over paper. I let him believe it was a pause. It wasn't. It was a decision. I remember the first time I held him. He was light, furious, alive. I worked 2 jobs so he could have one dream. I missed birthdays to fund his future. Every sacrifice felt temporary because love was supposed to compound. That's what I believed. That's what I taught him. Somewhere between tuition and trust funds, he learned a different math. The signs had been there. The way he checked his watch when I spoke. The way his calls came only after market hours. The way he said our money when he meant mine. Still, betrayal doesn't announce itself. It waits for permission, and I gave it every time I chose peace over clarity. The truth arrived without drama. A forwarded email from my attorney, sent to the wrong address. My son's name in the subject line. A neat list beneath it. Asset allocation. Early disbursement options. Capacity concerns. Capacity. He was planning my incompetence like a budget. I read it twice. Then I closed my eyes and felt the grief pass through me like weather. Pain first, then precision. I didn't confront him. Confrontation is for people who need answers. I needed outcomes. I started small. Phone records, calendar entries, quiet lunches with people who still returned my calls. I learned how often he visited my banker, how often he spoke for me when I wasn't in the room. I learned he'd rehearsed my decline before it existed, so I rehearsed my ending. I replaced my attorney. I hired a forensic accountant who didn't ask sentimental questions. We rebuilt my estate like a fortress, trusts layered inside conditions, conditions triggered by character. I moved assets into vehicles that rewarded patience and punished haste. I documented everything, dates, words, tone, intent. Then I waited. He asked again for the money, this time with a spreadsheet. He used words like legacy and efficiency. He said my name like a brand. I told him I'd think about it. I watched relief loosen his shoulders. Predators relax when they think the door is open. The execution required timing. I scheduled a family dinner. Candles, wine, familiar ground. I asked my attorney to attend, introduced him as a friend. I let my son perform. He toasted my health. He spoke about continuity. He called me wise. I let him finish. Then I slid the envelope across the table. He opened it with confidence. That didn't last. His eyes moved faster than his breath. Pages turned, clauses surfaced. His smile tried to survive and failed. The will had changed. No lump sum, no early access. His inheritance now lived inside a trust governed by behavior, employment stability, ethical audits, and time. Lots of time. Miss a benchmark, and the funds diverted to charities he publicly mocked. Fail twice, and he became a footnote. He looked up at me like I'd spoken a foreign language. "You can't do this," he said. I already did. The power shift was physical. You could hear it. His voice shrank. Mine didn't rise. I explained nothing. Explanations invite negotiation. I offered him a choice instead. Dignity or litigation. Silence or spectacle. He chose silence, at least at first. The fallout arrived later. Angry messages, half apologies, threats wrapped in familiarity. He tried to rally relatives. He leaked a story about my decline. It died quickly. Paper trails are ruthless. So is patience. Now when I think about him, I don't feel rage. Rage burns fuel. I feel clarity. He wanted my money without my presence, my legacy without my lessons. He mistook age for weakness. He mistook kindness for access. I didn't disinherit my son. I disincentivized his worst instincts. The money is still there, growing, waiting, just like I am, alive enough to enjoy watching consequences mature. Some people teach you how to love them. Others teach you how to protect yourself. I signed the final document at 10 p.m. The house was quiet. Outside, the city hummed like it always does. People arriving, leaving, making promises they'll keep tomorrow. I set the pen down and felt something close to peace. Not forgiveness, justice. And if he ever asks why, I'll tell him the truth. I wasn't too old to enjoy it. I was old enough to choose.